Hello friends, this is Kevin aka K-Man1 coming at you with another episode of Pokemon FireRed version. In the last episode, we caught a new team member and made our way up to this spooky cave right here. And I don't want to open my bag right now, I'm gonna just go ahead and show my team real quick. Got Jaggleboof at level 10 and then Super Hot and Jerk both at level 14. And in this episode we're gonna finally figure out what in the world this spooky cave is. Welcome to Mount Moon. First of all, this cave theme is probably one of my favorite songs in this generation. But second of all, now that we are in Mount Moon, you're going to want to go ahead and throw up a repel. Since Jaggleboof is only level 10, I'm probably still going to run into some Pokemon anyways, but what you gonna do? Anyways, there was a TM for Bullet Seed right there, and here we have a Paralyze Heal. Yeah. Gen 1, well, Gen 3 text limitations left it as Paralyze Heal, which is amazing. And that wasn't fixed until they increased certain text limits in the 6th generation of games. So, yeah, step up your game, Nintendo, honestly. Anyways, here we have Bug Catcher, and this isn't required, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. Alright, that battle's done and over with. And so, if in case you weren't believing me about Jigglypuff having really high HP, I didn't mean to get in that battle. But anyways, Jigglypuff has ridiculously high HP because at level 11, you know how much HP it has? 48. That's ridiculous. Anyways, this is a Magnemite, which is our first introduction to Steel types. And Steel types are notorious for having like a million resistances, but fortunately I have a Fire type, so that's not going to be a concern for me. And metal sound. It's like, see, the way I imagine that is just like they just like scrape different pieces of metal together, and just the sound like distracts you from being able to defend against damage, or at least that's the way I imagine it. Anyways, Super Hot is level 14, so very, very soon it'll be level 15, and something very, very special happens to Super Hot at level 16. I'm not going to get into what it is, but those of you who've played Pokemon before probably already know what I'm talking about. And it might have something to do with our Pokemon getting a little bit stronger. Anyways, this is a Voltorb, which is honestly like one of the fastest Pokemon you can get. But we don't have access to it for a little while from now. So, it's not overly important that you know very much about it. Just gonna go ahead and throw it out there. And this is only gonna be a couple more hits, hopefully, unless something goes horribly, horribly wrong. So, alright. Why are you not using an offensive move after you just harshly lowered my defense? Pokemon AI. Anyways, that was that. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of experience. Oh, I was not expecting that amount of experience. It distracted me. Alright. But really, the reason we came over... I'm gonna go ahead and throw that repel. The reason we came over here is because here, there's a free potion for us. Very, very nice. But the real draw is right over here. There is a rare candy. Now, rare candies are items which will automatically raise your Pokemon's level by 1. Very, very nice. And so, in this corridor, I'll go ahead and go over that in just a moment. But here is our first introduction to a new type of trainer. We, Team Rocket, are Pokemon gangsters. We strike fear with our strength. Technically, this guy isn't required, but he is our first introduction to Team Rocket. This is going to be like the main villain team of the game. It's kind of a tradition, but I'm not really going to go super hard in explaining them because we're going to have more than a handful of interactions with them before we even leave this cave. Anyways, Team Rocket Grunts mostly use Pokemon like Sandshrew, Zubat, and Rattata. Zubat is something we haven't actually run into yet. It's considered to be one of the more annoying Pokemon to fight against, and for good reason, because it can be very annoying and it's very quick and it has a lot of weird utility moves that it can take advantage of. And Zubat also evolves into my single favorite Pokemon, so I'm not going to be personally using one this playthrough, but I really enjoy Zubat, and I think he gets a lot of undeserved hate. a lot of deserved hate as well, but a lot of undeserved hate. Anyways, the reason I switched to Charmander is just because Sandshrew has way higher physical defense than special defense, so by switching to a special attacker, it's going to go faster, except that he's lowering my accuracy because he's a jerk, and I'm never going to be able to hit. But yeah, Sandshrews are really, really tanky this early in the game, if you don't have any special moves. So that's just something you got to keep in mind. But can I just land one Ember? Just one! That's all I'm asking for. One Ember. Thank you. Oh my goodness. That was stupid. And nice little chunk of experience for trouble. And we're going to go ahead and switch back to Jaggleboof. I'm just trying to get Jaggleboof caught up in levels, just because I caught it at level 3. Fortunately, it is a Pokemon that levels up fairly quickly. But it's still going to take a while just because it's coming from like a 11 level deficit. So naturally it's going to take more than a couple battles to go ahead and catch it up in experience. Anyways, Team Rocket trainers use Rattata a lot, which is a pathetically weak Pokemon that I'm easily taking down with Jaggleboof. But it did lower my defense a lot, so I'm thinking I'm probably wanting to switch out on this, just so I don't accidentally get KO'd for something stupid like a Zubat. Because as much as I like Zubat, it's not very strong in its basic form, even compared to other unevolved Pokemon. And the real meat of its power really only comes in after it evolves. So that's just something useful you can use against them. Anyways, first battle against Team Rocket Grunt was a resounding success, and here we get a Star Piece, which is an item that you can sell for a lot of money. And I'm gonna throw up another Repel. And we're finally at the point where we almost have enough items to take up an entire screen. And I probably shouldn't have thrown out the Repel. Something I was about to say before. In this tunnel, there's a 100% encounter rate for the Pokemon Paris, which is a good Pokemon, and it learns a lot of good field utility moves. And when I say good Pokemon, I mean it's useful, not that it's like good in battle, because it's pretty pathetically weak. This guy is just like, I'm excavating stuff, rock. And that Repel wore up. And I thought I could make it to the cave without running into Pokemon. Yeah, one of the reasons people hate Zubat so much is because he has a really high encounter rate in caves, and caves... I really wasn't fast enough to run away, really. Come on. Ha! Okay, yeah, Jaggleboof's cute charm ability. Basically, physical contact moves from Pokemon of the opposite gender will cause infatuation status, which is one of the most annoying things in the game. But, yeah. Not something I can really be relying on. So yeah, anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and catch a Paris, and I will cut back in just a moment. The double infatuation is so real. I hate infatuation so much. Alright, and we're back. And so we're just going to be moving along here. And one downside to Jigglypuff, I mean there are a handful of downsides because Jigglypuff isn't that good of a Pokemon. But one of the big downsides is that it's at such an early point in the game that you don't have healing items that really do much of anything to its health pool. So, yeah. Anyways, here is an Ether, which is our first example of a PowerPoint restoring item. And this is TM46, which contains Thief, which means that the opponent has a hold item, then you have a chance of being able to steal it away from them. Actually, I think it's guaranteed that you steal it away. I'm not completely sure, because I don't really ever use the move. Anyways, this is another Rocket Grunt, so naturally we're going to be taking them down. And while for the most part I'm not showing non-required trainer battles, I feel like I can make an exception for Team Rocket because, you know, they are villains and it is our job as the heroes of this game to take all villains down that we find. Plus, most of them really aren't particularly challenging, and they give that sweet, sweet experience points. And in case you're wondering why Jaggleboof is so close to a level up there, it's because I battled a couple other trainers off screen, That's really all there is to that. And he has an Ekans, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and switch over to Jerk. Take that down, since Ekans has the ability Intimidate, which I've shown before, but I never really explained. Basically, as soon as the Pokemon enters battle, then it will lower the attack of whatever opponents are on the field by 1 stage. And so if there happens to be a double battle, then oh my goodness, stop poisoning me. I've only ever been poisoned once before in like this entire Let's Play, but it's the most annoying status. And haha, you missed because you're bad and you're rude. And you're a rude dude who uses poison. And I'm just gonna kill you. Yeah, that's right. I said kill and then E-rated. I'm pretty sure this is rated E, anyways. I don't know. I don't actually know what Pokemon games are rated because I never bought them when I was younger, and I didn't really care. And now that I'm old enough to buy them, I don't... Oh, hey. That is... Okay, Paris has a hold item. Every now and again, wild Parises will have mushrooms on them, and mushrooms are basically just selling items. That was a tiny mushroom, which is the more common variety. But it sells for less, which is fine, because it's just a little bit of bonus income. And there are a handful of trainers around here that I'm going to be battling off screen in a little while, but I'll just go ahead and grab. That was a Moonstone, and it is used to evolve 4 different Pokemon in this generation, one of which happens to be Jaggleboof. But I'm not going to be evolving it quite yet, just because there are a couple more moves it has that I want it to learn before it evolves. Something about Stone Evolutions is that, for the most part, you will lose out on potential moves that you could learn if you evolve them immediately. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are using a Stone Evolution Pokemon. Here's another Team Rocket grunt. Little kids shouldn't be messing around. Screw you, man. I can do what I want. I'm a grown 10-year-old. Yeah, 10-year-olds are legal adults in the Pokemon world, for those of you who aren't aware. Which is completely reasonable and not at all crazy if you ask me. Because when I was 10, I was completely prepared to take on everything. Ooh, Hyper Fang, that's going to deal a lot of damage. 1 HP. Ah, and it flinched. Okay, yeah, flinch status. I'm going to go ahead and switch out here, actually. Just because I'm not confident in Jaggleboof's ability to tank another hit. But anyways, flinch status. Some moves have the ability to cause a flinch, and basically all that is your Pokemon won't move if they get hit by it in the same turn. And it's usually a pretty small chance, but oh my goodness. Hyper Fang is a really strong move for this point in the game because A, it can cause flinch, and B, it just does a lot of damage. So, yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. This is a Sandshrew, so I'm just going to go ahead and Ember it up. And Sand Attack, please don't be annoying. Yep, it's going to be annoying. I hate Sand Attack so much, but I refuse to use it because I'm not evil. See, this is my problem. I hate a bunch of moves because I think they're troll and they're really annoying and no one should use them, but I'm too honorable to abuse them myself. So, oh my goodness. Super Hot is like 3 experience away from a level up, so I think I might just... I'm actually going to heal up Jaggleboof. And like I was saying, we're so early in the game that there aren't any healing items that will restore a decent amount of HP to Jigglypuff. So like, after using 2 potions, it's still only at 2/3 of its HP. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind if you are using a Jigglypuff. That's not a huge deal for me, because, I mean, whatever. Normally I don't use healing items that much, but this is just for the sake of not having to constantly run back to the Pokemon Center and keep recording for excessive periods of time at a time. Anyways, Team Rocket is apparently planning on reviving fossilized Pokemon and then selling them for a huge profit. Interesting. I wonder how the reanimation of fossilized Pokemon works. It's probably a pretty complex process that takes an excessive amount of time, and is definitely not going to be completed in the time it takes you to exit and re-enter a room. Because that would just be ludicrous. Hyper Fang again. That's gonna hurt. Oh my god, really? Oh my goodness. Well, I guess that's our first feint. Well, that's not our first feint, actually, now that I think of it. because Pikachu fainted in the battle against Brock. But that's really all there is to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and take down that Rattata and hit level 16. Hooray! And so we're finally going to get that thing that I was hinting about earlier. And he's going to switch to a Zubat, so I'm just going to switch over to Jerk. Alright. And so let's go ahead and hit him with the Pikachu! Use your Thunder Smash! And quick, while he's charging his Thunder Smash, hit him with your bolts of lightning! I can't really do that right now because my voice is poo. But, yeah. We all, I'm sure we've all seen that classic video. And that's actually how I was going to nickname my Pikachu at first. I was going to name him Pika-Pee! But I feel like Jerk was a little bit more appropriate at the time. Anyways, this is Double Team, which raises your evasion. Evasion is like accuracy, and I'm not going to use it because I'm not evil. So, now I'm met. That's like the most pathetic thing ever. Anyways, Super Hot is evolving. Alright. And so, our first evolution on our team belongs to our Charmander, just because the others are stone evolutions, and I'm not able to do one, and I'm not willing to do the other quite yet. Anyways, Charmander evolves into Charmeleon. So, evolution is a mechanic in Pokemon. Basically, if a Pokemon evolves, it becomes stronger. That's really all there is to it. Sometimes they gain types on evolution, and sometimes they can learn new moves, but basically they get more stats, which is very nice. Anyways, I'm going to switch Jerk to the front and move my way up here. Hey, stop! I found these fossils. They're both mine. Alright, so here we're introduced to one of the best trainer classes in all of Pokemon, Super Nerd. Yeah. So Super Nerd's mostly, I didn't mean to use Thundershock because Grimer has a very high special defense stat, but not a very high physical defense. But anyways, Super Nerds mostly use Poison and Electric type Pokemon. So now you're using Harden to be annoying. Alright, so apparently I am using Thundershock in this battle because it seems to be doing more damage anyways. And okay, now the game is just trolling me. What move do you want me to use? I'm gonna kill you no matter what. Just let me do it easily. Alright, so now he's switching to Coughing, so I figure might as well go ahead and show off our newly evolved Charmeleon. Woo! Its back sprite is honestly pretty lame, if you ask me, but not much we can really do about that, so let's just go ahead and hit up these Embers. Coughing is a really cool Pokemon that we don't have access to quite yet, as far as catching is concerned, but it is a really good physical wall, and I highly recommend it once we finally have access to it. And wow, that is a lot of experience. So we go switch back to Pikachu, even though I would want normally to fight electric types with Charmeleon, but I figure might as well just spam Quick Attack, see what kind of work I can put in. And really, that's not much damage at all. That was a burp, which you didn't hear because I concealed it very well, but oh my goodness, now I have hiccups. This is a problem. This is the worst, having hiccups when you're like needing to talk to people a lot. Like, I work as a server, and so having hiccups is the worst because I'm like talking to guests or whatever. And then I'm just like hiccuping left and right, and it's just obnoxious. And I'm like, I'm sorry, my body is trying to kill me, but I can't really do anything about it right now. Anyways, we defeated Super Nerd Miguel, and he's like, okay, I'll share. So now we have a choice of fossils. And so there are two types of fossils. There's the Dome Fossil and the Helix Fossil. And both of them can be reanimated later in the game to make a different Pokemon. And just on personal preference, I would normally go with Helix Fossil, but since I'm not going to be feeding into any of those memes, I'm just going to go ahead and pick Dome Fossil. And the Super Nerd just goes ahead and takes the other one. And yeah. So, in this episode, we traveled through Mount Moon and took down one of Team Rocket's first heists. And in the next episode, we're going to be moving on and exploring what lies beyond the cave. See you guys then.